I stood in line at the airport, excited about my upcoming trip. My name is Sarah Carter, and I'm 29 years old. I had planned a surprise vacation, but at that moment, my older sister, Lisa, had no idea. Lisa, who is 31, always acted like she was better than me. She had a habit of showing off, especially when it came to money. Today was no different. She tossed her long blonde hair over her shoulder and smirked. "So, Sarah, you're here to see me off? You know, I'm going to Hawaii for a luxury trip." I raised an eyebrow. "That's nice." Lisa laughed, looking me up and down like I was wearing rags. "Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to afford it. If you want to come, you'll have to buy your own ticket." Her friends giggled, and I felt a familiar sting of embarrassment. Lisa had been doing this since we were kids, always making me feel small. But what she didn't know was that I wasn't the same person anymore. I had spent the last few years building my business, and now I was making $50,000 a month. But I never bragged about it. Unlike Lisa, I didn't need to show off. So instead of arguing, I smiled. "You're right. I'll figure something out." Lisa rolled her eyes and walked off, dragging her expensive luggage behind her. What she didn't know, I had already booked a private jet, and I wasn't going alone. As soon as Lisa walked away, I pulled out my phone and made a quick call. "Is everything ready?" I asked. A smooth voice on the other end replied, "Yes, Miss Carter. Your private jet is fueled and waiting at the VIP terminal. Your parents have also been picked up and are on their way." "Perfect." I walked confidently past the regular check-in lines, heading toward a special entrance most people didn't even know existed. This was where the real luxury travelers went, celebrities, billionaires, and, today, me. Lisa thought I couldn't afford a plane ticket? She had no idea. I arrived at the private jet terminal just as my parents' car pulled up. My mom, Karen, stepped out, looking confused. "Sarah, what's going on?" she asked, holding my dad's arm. I smiled. "We're going to Hawaii. First class." Dad, Richard, scratched his head. "But we didn't buy tickets." I pointed to the sleek white and gold jet behind me. It had leather seats, a full bar, and even a private bedroom. "You don't need tickets when you own the whole plane for the day." Mom's jaw dropped. "Sarah, how?" "I've been doing well," I said with a wink. "Lisa thinks I can't afford a regular plane ticket. Imagine her face when she finds out I flew on my own jet." We all laughed as we climbed aboard. The flight attendant greeted us like VIPs and offered champagne. As we got comfortable, I pulled out my phone and checked Lisa's flight details. She was still waiting in the long security line. I smirked. "Enjoy the airport chaos, Lisa. We'll be sipping cocktails in Hawaii before you even take off." The flight was smoother than I could have imagined. Flying on a private jet felt unreal. No cramped seats, no crying babies, and no long waits. Just luxury. My parents were still in shock. My mom kept asking, "Sarah, how did you afford this?" I just smiled. "Let's just say I've been working hard." She shook her head. "Your sister's going to lose her mind when she sees you in Hawaii." I grinned. That was exactly what I was counting on. As the private jet touched down in Maui, the moment felt surreal. The airport staff treated us like celebrities, leading us through a VIP exit while everyone else had to wait in line. I had arranged for a luxury car to pick us up. A sleek black Rolls-Royce was already waiting as we stepped outside. "Welcome to Hawaii, Miss Carter," the driver said, opening the door for us. My dad whistled. "Wow. You really went all out, huh?" I just laughed as we slid into the plush leather seats. Meanwhile, I checked my phone and saw a text from Lisa. "Ugh, this airport is so slow. Our flight got delayed. We won't land for another 6 hours. So annoying." I smirked. Perfect. By the time Lisa landed, I would already be at our 5-star resort, sipping a cocktail by the pool. We pulled up to the Four Seasons Resort, one of the most exclusive hotels in Maui. The staff greeted us with flower leis and fresh pineapple drinks. "Welcome, Miss Carter. Your presidential villa is ready." The manager personally escorted us through the massive resort. Our private villa had an infinity pool, ocean views, and a personal butler. Mom and Dad looked like they were about to faint. "This place is unreal," My dad whispered. I just shrugged. Only the best. 6 hours later, I was lounging by the pool when I finally saw Lisa's Instagram story. She had just landed. Lisa and her friends looked exhausted, dragging their luggage through the crowded airport. But here's where it got interesting. Lisa's trip wasn't as luxurious as she made it seem. I overheard one of her friends complaining in the background. Wait, what do you mean the Airbnb canceled? Where are we even staying now? I nearly spit out my drink. Lisa's fancy trip was falling apart. She had spent weeks bragging about her luxury Hawaii vacation, but now she was stuck scrambling for a place to stay. I smiled to myself. This was just getting started. I stretched out on the poolside lounger, watching the sun set over the ocean. A cool breeze, a fresh cocktail, and the satisfaction of knowing Lisa's trip was already going downhill? Pure bliss. Lisa still had no idea I was here. I scrolled through Instagram. Lisa's latest post was a forced smile at the airport, captioned, "Finally made it to Hawaii. Time for some luxury." Luxury? That was funny, considering her Airbnb had just canceled. I turned to my dad. Should we tell Lisa we're here? He laughed. Let's wait. I want to see her face when she finds out. Mom sighed. Sarah, be nice. I smirked. Oh, I will. But I can't promise it won't be fun. I checked Lisa's location. She was about 20 minutes away. Curious, I called a friend who worked at one of the island's high-end hotels. Hey, I have a weird question, I said. Did Lisa Carter try to book a room last minute? There was a pause, then laughter. Yeah. She and her friends showed up begging for a room, but were fully booked. She looked panicked. I nearly fell out of my chair laughing. She didn't plan ahead? I asked. Nope. They thought they could just walk in and book a luxury suite. Big mistake. I hung up and turned to my parents. Lisa has no place to stay. Mom gasped. Oh no. Dad chuckled. Karma. Just then, my phone buzzed. A text from Lisa. Ugh, our Airbnb canceled. The hotels are full. Do you know anywhere cheap we can stay? Cheap. I bit my lip to keep from laughing. After all the times Lisa called me poor, now she was the one looking for a budget option. I typed back. Not sure, but let me know if you need anything. Winking face. Then I ordered another round of cocktails. The next morning, I woke up feeling refreshed. Stepping onto the villa's private balcony, I inhaled the ocean breeze, taking in the view. That's when I saw her. Lisa. She was standing in the hotel lobby, looking completely shocked. I had asked the manager to upgrade my room to the presidential villa, which just so happened to be right next to the main resort entrance. Lisa was staring straight at me. She blinked a few times as if she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Then she grabbed her phone. A second later, mine rang. I answered casually. Hello. Lisa's voice was sharp. Sarah? Why are you here? I smiled. Oh, didn't I tell you? I decided to come to Hawaii. How? You said you couldn't afford a ticket. I sipped my morning coffee. Oh, I didn't need a ticket. Silence. Then Lisa gasped. Wait, are you staying at the Four Seasons? In that suite? I grinned. Yep. Her jaw dropped. How? Who paid for it? I let the words sink in before dropping the final bomb. I did. Silence again. Then in a whisper. You're rich. I laughed. I guess you could say that. Lisa stood frozen, completely speechless, while my butler brought me breakfast on a silver tray. This was the best vacation ever. Lisa stood in the lobby, gripping her phone so tightly I thought it might crack. For the first time ever, she had nothing to say. Sarah, she finally muttered. You're joking, right? I took a slow sip of my coffee. Nope. My private jet landed yesterday. Mom and Dad are here too. We've been having the best time. I glanced down at her outfit. Her designer clothes suddenly didn't seem so impressive. She looked tired, probably from spending half the night trying to find a place to stay. So, where are you staying? I asked casually, pretending not to know. Lisa swallowed. We're figuring it out. Figuring it out. Translation? She had nowhere to go. She cleared her throat, and suddenly, her voice changed, sweeter, softer. Well, Sarah, it's so great to see you. Maybe we can all hang out.
Oh,
Now, she wanted to be friendly. I smirked. I thought I was too poor to be on this trip. Lisa's face turned red. I didn't mean it like that. Right, I said, raising an eyebrow. So, why did you say it? She stammered. I was just joking. You know me. Oh, I know you. She laughed nervously, then glanced up at my villa. So, maybe we could come up for a bit? Just to, catch up? I almost burst out laughing. Lisa never cared about catching up before. She only cared now because she was desperate. I leaned on the railing. Oh, I'd love to. But you see, my villa has a strict guest list. Only invited guests are allowed. Lisa's jaw clenched. Sarah? Oh, and I just booked a full spa day. Facials, massages, the works. I sighed dramatically. I'd invite you, but guest list rules. Lisa was fuming, but she forced a smile. Of course. No problem. Maybe we can hang out later. I smiled sweetly. We'll see. Have fun figuring out your stay. And with that, I hung up. Lisa didn't call back. I knew she was fuming, but there wasn't much she could do. She had spent years treating me like I was beneath her, and now that the tables had turned, she couldn't handle it. But I wasn't done yet. A little extra fun. After a relaxing morning, I decided to take the game one step further. I called my butler over. Hey, do you know if the Four Seasons has any budget-friendly sister hotels nearby? He nodded. Yes, Miss Carter. There's a small, no-frills motel about 10 minutes from here. I grinned. Perfect. Book a room under Lisa Carter's name. The butler looked confused, but he nodded. Right away, Miss Carter. I was sipping a coconut drink by the infinity pool when Lisa called again. Lisa, Sarah, you're not going to believe this. Someone booked a room for me at this disgusting motel. I don't even know who did it. I smirked. Oh, that's crazy. Maybe it's a gift. Lisa, a gift. It smells like feet and regret. I can't stay here.
ugh.
I stifled a laugh. Well, maybe you should have planned ahead. Or, been nicer to your sister. There was a long silence. I could almost hear her brain working. Finally, Lisa sighed. Lisa, Sarah, I'm sorry. Bingo. Lisa, I shouldn't have called you poor. I shouldn't have acted like I was better than you. I didn't know. I just assumed. I guess I was wrong. I let the silence hang for a second before replying. Yeah, Lisa, you were wrong. She took a deep breath. So, does that mean I can come up now? I smiled.
No.
Lisa, what? I laughed. Lisa, this isn't a movie. You don't get to be rude your whole life and then suddenly get rewarded because you apologized. Actions have consequences.
Lisa groaned.
So, what am I supposed to do? I stretched out in my lounger. I don't know, but I'm about to get a $500 massage, so I'll let you figure it out. Enjoy the motel. And with that, I hung up. Lisa learned a valuable lesson that day. Never underestimate the quiet ones. She never treated me the same way again. And the funniest part? She started asking me for business advice. Now, whenever she talks about Hawaii, she avoids the subject of where she stayed. As for me, a few months later, I took another trip to the Maldives. And guess who wasn't invited?